Hello, my name is Alycia Hoagland, and I am completing my practicum for my Master of Public Health with a nutrition emphasis at Liberty University in conjunction with Alo Civitas Consulting LLC. My project aims to answer the question, where do children learn healthy eating and lifestyle habits, with a goal to reduce the incidence of childhood obesity within our communities. Due to childhood obesity rates rising with age, my thought is that the earlier we impact children, the higher likelihood we have for success. In early childhood, I find that those working in child care centers can have the greatest impact in teaching children to create healthy lifestyle habits that will build a solid health foundation for life. Simply eating healthy, nutritious foods is not enough to build this foundation. Join me in helping to make the gray science of nutrition more black and white. Did you know that children in full-time childcare eat 1/2 to 2/3 of their dietary intake while in this care? Join me today as we talk about picky eating in addition to other healthy lifestyle habits. Picky eating is common with children, and this can come in phases as they grow throughout the different developmental stages. However, this should be thought of in terms of behaviors from and towards the child in regards to their eating habits. It is important to note that the more that this is fought or enabled, the more likely the child is to continue with certain behaviors. An example that I have from my son is that he currently refuses to eat meat in my presence. I get sent pictures from his childcare facility of him eating fish sticks, lunch meats, chicken strips, and all kinds of other meats. And I've also been told that he will eat this when with friends and family. However, he will not eat this with me around to the point that he will wait for me to walk out of the room. So if I did not know that he would eat this with literally everyone else, I would think that he is a picky eater, when really I'm probably doing something or have done something that makes him not want to eat meat around me. Or maybe he just doesn't like my cooking. I'm not too sure, but this is a good example of what is real behavior, as he likes to eat meat otherwise. I will be happy when we do get out of this phase though. One of the most ideal ways to teach a child healthier eating habits is to model this for them. One idea or thought that I like to share is that you cannot expect the child to eat the broccoli while you eat the burger. You cannot expect healthy eating habits while not performing the actions necessary to also model this behavior to a child. Children on average must try a food 8 to 15 times before they decide whether they like it or not. It is common for much younger children when beginning to try new foods to make a lot of faces. This should not be taken to mean that they do not like said food, but more likely that they are just not sure about the food and need to keep being exposed to it. Something that should be considered in the sensory aspects of foods. It's not uncommon for children to not enjoy fruits and vegetables. The root of this is that they just simply do not taste the same every time. When you purchase berries and such at the store, they're not always in season or may not be the best quality at the time that you purchase them. So expecting a child to always like fresh produce when you really cannot control or predict that it will taste the same every time is not a very fair expectation for them. One tip that I do have in this regard is to offer frozen fruits and vegetables. These are picked at the peak of freshness and tend to have the same taste and texture every time to help children understand better what the food typically tastes like. The best way to introduce new foods is through frequent exposure. Even if a child does not seem to or even claim to like or dislike a food, it should still be given to them in small quantities along with foods that you definitely know the child likes. Food should not be labeled as good or bad, as all foods play an important role in a balanced diet. You should try to avoid saying whether a child likes or dislikes a food, as they are impressionable and may make the choice of liking or disliking that food based on what you have said rather than what they may actually think. Asking them instead of telling them is the better route as far as if they like something. Although their taste will change as they grow older, so their likes and dislikes will as well. I do also want to make a point that this information is for a typical development and not for children who may have sensory issues, disabilities, or developmental delays. These children should be under the guidance of a registered dietitian or other health professional for their eating behaviors, and I want to note that their eating habits would not but be what we are considering picky eating for the purpose of this presentation. Children's palates, or their taste and flavor profiles and preferences, begin before they are born. While in utero, the first taste that a child has is for sweet. This is important as sweet foods like breast milk or formula are sources of quick calories typically. You will also notice that young children like a lot of sweet foods and other foods high in carbs, as these provide the calories that they need for the rapid growth that they experience early on in their development. Breast milk plays an important role in the development of the palate, as they are able to taste the foods their mom eats, such as spices and staple foods, which gets them accustomed to their family's food culture. When children are consistently given foods that taste good, mainly because they taste good, versus that they are nutrient dense and part of a balanced diet, this can contribute to picky eating as well. Children should be given a variety of foods rather than foods that are all sweet, salty, and/or high in fat. These foods should be paired with fruits and vegetables to balance them out. Children who are not given fruits, vegetables, and other nutrient-dense foods will not develop a taste for them and therefore will be unlikely to want to eat them. So repeated exposure to these foods is necessary so that children begin to develop a taste and even a likeness for them. Children's taste buds are more sensitive than adults, so this should be taken into consideration when they do not enjoy the strong tastes that nutrient-dense foods can have. They probably really do not like it, but they can grow accustomed to it if you continue to have them taste and expose them to these. A healthy lifestyle is not only based upon what foods are or are not consumed. Physical activity, sleep, oral health, and screen time can also play a vital role in building a healthy foundation for young children. Children should be physically active as much as is safely possible. Including physical activity throughout the day instead of only during outdoor times can be useful to not only get children more physically active, but also help get their wiggles out throughout the day. I'm not recommending that we allow children to run through the classroom or do anything like that that will likely result in injury. However, activities like yoga, dancing, and hopping can be done safely in the classroom while also getting some exercise into a child's routine. Nap times are crucial to young children's development. They must get enough sleep to grow and develop properly. A child who is lacking sleep will crave high-carb foods to make up for the energy levels that they are lacking. They may not wish to have more nutrient-dense foods due to this and may overeat as their bodies attempt to increase their energy level. Oral health is important in a healthy lifestyle. When a child's very first tooth erupts, they should begin brushing with fluoride toothpaste twice daily, or I guess their parents should be brushing their teeth. Bottles should be minimized after they reach 1 year, especially when putting to sleep to avoid dental caries or cavities. Modeling good oral health, such as teeth brushing, is important in teaching children good oral health habits. This can be fostered in child care via books, demonstrations, and visits by a dentist or maybe a tooth fairy. Screen time should be minimized for young children, and if shown under the age of 3 years old, should focus on low stimulation shows. Children should not utilize screen time while they're eating, as they tend to overeat due to being distracted by the television show. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new and can take this information along your own journey to teaching children healthy habits.